Hey, Obi Trades! I want to do a video analysis update of the meme stocks, specifically the meme stocks that I'm long: AMC Theaters, Virgin Galactic, Tilray. I'm also long Canopy Growth, aligned with the pot stocks, and Virgin Galactic, which I said, AMC Theaters, Tilray, and there's one more. Camping World's not a meme stock. But I'm going to include it in this video. It had unusual options volume today with Blackberry, and we'll also talk about Kodak in this video. I'll talk about Gamestop as well, obviously. So here is my chart of AMC. I'm long AMC. My average cost is 4.47. So that was my average cost for AMC. We blew past that today. And when it was up 60 or 70%, I told my cousin from Philly I was up 60 or 70%. He said, bro, sell. What are you doing, man? And I was like, nah, man. I think I'm going to keep holding it, YOLO. And, of course, we see AMC up to 6.11 in after hours. Wow. AMC up to 6.11 in after hours. Wow. A seismic move coming from AMC. And so I had these time fibs out. I measured the length of all of wave 1/wave A, and I got a very important time fib on the monthly chart for the second week of March of 2024. And then the other way that I take time fibs is by taking the small degree wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5 is how I would subdivide it. And again, we get March of 2024 as a very important time fib. So I'm long AMC from 4.47. I'm long SPCE. I bought calls when it was at $1 recently. I bought leaps expiring in December of 2025. Those are at the monies. And I'm long Tilray and CGC options that are in the money, in the black as well. So one of the reasons that I'm going to hold each of these positions primarily is because of technical analysis and options analysis. Tons and tons of options, straddles, and strangles being bought on these stocks on the way down. They're most likely going to be bought on the way up, and these moves can be quite outsized beyond even the most beyond imagination. I mean, beyond imagination potentially. So I was looking for a big move in AMC theaters around March of 2020. So let's look at some of my March of 2024. My bad. So let's look at some of my previous posts on AMC theaters. I said on March 11th, John Cena did all that, so the Mattel, AMC, and GameStop rallies could be signaled. Don't believe me? Just watch. Why was I talking about AMC and GameStop on March 11th and John Cena? Well, I had been looking for someone to play a role in what Shakespeare calls the theater of the world, right? All the world's a stage, and I can assure you, in the mind's eye, everything you see in the media, that's all a giant stage too. All the actors and all their lines, very carefully planned in advance. So there was a big movie that came out that was produced by Barack Obama, where a ship called the White Lion lands on the beach, right? A ship called the White Lion crashes into the beach. Kind of like how a bunch of crazy stuff started happening to ships and boats in 2024, a few months later. Anyway, that movie also had a bunch of crazy stuff happening to planes too. Anyway, the White Lion on the beach. So the White Lion is the name of a slave ship, the very first slave ship that brought slaves to America in 1619. And if you think that's just a random connection, later in the movie, during the apocalypse, the main Ethan Hawke's character tunes into the radio station 1619 hertz. And 1619 was the year that the White Lion landed. So the White Lion on the beach, and of course, metaphorically, the White Lion on the beach would be kind of shocking. It'd be shocking to literally see a white lion on the beach. It would make you think you're in a different world. So I was looking for someone to play the White Lion character in real life, right? I was looking for someone to play the White Lion character in real life because I got the connection pretty early on that the white lion was a connection to the roaring kitty, a white man named Roaring Kitty, i.e., a white lion. And also, about a month later, the Detroit Lions, who are historically the biggest underdogs, right? The Detroit Lions are known for being underdogs. They are the Lions, and they were on Candlestick Park, San Francisco's stadium, which is a beach environment. So we had Eminem, who is from Detroit, and he was at the Candlestick Park kind of beach vibe stadium, and he's a white man rooting for the Lions, i.e. he's a white lion on the beach. So I picked up very early on that the white lion was referencing numerous things, not just the slave ship, but it was referencing the meme stocks, right? In that movie, by the way, one of the main characters is actually in finance, and he knows what's going on, not because he's in some secret society, but because he's in finance. And he says he sees something beyond the curve. Beyond the curve, he sees something. So the big connection to finance in that movie, and the white lion, I connected very quickly. The white lion was referencing this roaring kitty figure who came back today. So why was I relieved when the roaring kitty came back today, and why was I talking about John Cena? What does this have to do with me holding my shares of AMC, even though my average cost is 4.47, now it's at 6.11, kind of a nice game. And why I took my sell, you know? I'm going to tell you why. Why was I looking for John Cena? Why was I talking about John Cena? Well, John Cena, his most recent movies were called Vacation Friends. Vacation Friends 1 and Vacation Friends 2. And I was shown the movie Vacation Friends. And it was pretty good. I'm not the type of person who goes out and watches the new John Cena kind of corny movie everyone's watching, but I was shown Vacation Friends. And John Cena, and I know why I was shown that movie, because John Cena in that movie plays, he plays this kind of wild, zany character that we later find out in the movie is an ex-Green Beret. So he pretends to be this wild, zany character, but he's actually deep in the government. And he has these wild, elaborate schemes that always are timed perfectly. Very interesting character. And his motto is just float in the movies. He's kind of like this lackadaisical, the devil may care guy. So his motto is just float. Like, just float with the current, right? Just chill out, bro. No. Double entendre, triple entendre, what George Orwell called double speak. This is the way to understand what they're really saying. Just float is referring to, well, a just float. What's that mean? Well, in finance, a float is the amount of shares that exist for a company. So what are the AMC and the Gamestop retail traders always saying? That the MMs are not having a just float because they're doing something called naked shorting. So I was picking up on this very quickly. Just float. Okay, just float. John Cena is the white lion. Why is John Cena the white lion? Well, because he did something very shocking. He walked across the stage in Hollywood, Malibu, California for the Oscars in California, right? The beach. Like how San Francisco's on the beach. Like how Eminem was the white lion on the beach. So John Cena was the shocking, kind of crazy thing to see on the beach. The white man on the beach. And what was he? Naked. Like how GameStop and AMC traders are always saying that the MMs are naked shorting. So John Cena's motto is just float. Just float refers to don't naked short. And then the white lion walks across the stage naked. And wouldn't you know that during all the time that this happens, John Cena himself actually joined a bunch of retail discords. Yes, John Cena's actual social media profiles joined GameStop and retail trading discords during this time. And he said, he told everyone he was bullish. He wasn't a bear. He was bullish GameStop, buying GameStop. Why was he buying GameStop? Well, for the same reason a lot of GameStop and AMC people buy those shares, to take on the MMs, who are naked shorting because they don't have a just float. John Cena, the White Lion, walking across the stage naked. I said he's signaling the Mattel, AMC, and GameStop rallies. Well, his Mattel connection, obviously, is the Barbie movie. So, puppy trades. That's all fine and good. But when's AMC gonna top? Right? When are you gonna sell your AMC shares? What does this have to do with any of that? Well, I'm actually looking for a fundamental story. Yes, I'm looking for a fundamental story. A fundamental signal. Just like how I found a fundamental signal to buy these shares. Just like how I found a fundamental signal to buy these shares, I'm looking for a fundamental signal to sell them. And I'm going to tell you what it is. AMC theaters, where everyone went to go see the Barbie movie that John Cena was in. John Cena walks across the stage naked, like naked shorting. And what is that? It's appalling to children because John Cena's fan base is full of children and he's always in the Make-A-Wish Foundation. So what fundamental event am I looking for to end this signal? John Cena gave the buy signal. What's going to give the sell signal? And if you think I'm the only person in these AMC and GameStop, I'm telling you, I did some research. I do stock analysis. I wanted to know what the bull thesis was. There's people who know a lot about this. And let me tell you, this is the signal for when I'm going to sell my AMC shares. Remember, AMC is a movie theater company. Movies. My life, a movie. Films. So I'm looking for a film, and I'm looking for a movie to come out to signal when to sell AMC. What movie is that, pup? Remember how John Cena did something pretty appalling to children? Appalling to children. Have any celebrities doing things appalling to children been in mainstream news recently? P. Diddy? Big news headline. What about Drake? Drake's in the mainstream news. Why is he in the mainstream news? Oh, because Kendrick Lamar dropped a lot of songs about him being a pedo. And one of those songs was called 616 in LA. 616 in LA. That's a date in the future to worry about. No, that's a date in the... You think that's a date in the past. No, that's a date in the future. That's a date in the future to really be thinking about. That second or third week of June, a seismic move is going to come. In the West Side, where Kendrick's from. So what fundamental movie am I looking for the top? Well, remember, John Cena did something appalling to children. One of our presidential candidates has some interesting thoughts about children. Donald Trump, October 8th of 2012, got to do something about these missing children. Grabbed by the perverts. Too many incidents. Fast trial. Death penalty. Oh, that Donald Trump. He's always misspelling stuff, isn't he, pup? Yeah, he's really illiterate. Children is actually the name of adrenochrome. And adrenochrome is a substance that, well, when children are tortured, they produce. And this is what Monsters, Inc. is about. Torturing children, getting their energy, right? Mike Wazowski, the one-eyed, guy. The one-eyed green guy. The one-eyed green people, get children's energy by making their adrenaline spike and scaring them. And so this tweet is actually saying, hey, the guy who ended up being president says that anyone who ingested children, they need a fast trial and the death penalty. Ugh. Well, it turns out when this guy got elected president, he found out a lot of people were consuming adrenochrome. It wasn't just one guy. What's going on here? Look at this guy. That's President Joe Biden, isn't it? Isn't it? That's President Joe Biden. This picture was taken by Ed Jones of Getty Images, by the way. I did not take this picture. I swear on my life, I swear on my own father and mother's life, and if I ever have children, I swear on their lives that I have not altered this picture in any way. This was taken by Ed Jones of Getty Images. Let's look at this picture. Notice anything right here? You see that little square? You see that? What's that? Let's hear it. What's that? That's a mask. Like how all the liberal celebrities were saying, hey, let's all wear masks in 2020. The virus came from a lab in China. This is a Chinese company, Alibaba, selling children, which is adrenochrome. Donald Trump said if someone had children, they need a fast trial and the death penalty. Joe Biden, he sniffs young women's hair. Sniffs little girls' hair. Oh, Joe Biden's diary. Officially now, Snopes fact-checked. Joe Biden's daughter said very inappropriate. That's a fact-checked thing now. You can't even argue with that. Fact-checkers confirm Joe Biden's daughter said he did very inappropriate things with her. Fact-checkers confirm. You see this. This is a mask, people. This is a mask. You can see it with your own eyes. And you want to hear this from me. You want to hear this from me because I care about you. I'm serious. You're going to hear this, fam. You want to hear this from me. This is a mask. You can see it with your own eyes. What's going on here? Oh, pup, you're crazy. Am I now? Am I now? That's interesting. Let's look at this. The Washington Times. House votes in favor of broadcasting Guantanamo Bay proceedings online. Amendment to defend spending bill passed on party line vote. Fate of measure uncertain in Senate. What? No. Only crazy puppy trays talked about people being in Gitmo. The House votes in favor of broadcasting Guantanamo Bay proceedings online. Why was the House of Representatives voting on broadcasting Guantanamo Bay proceedings? And why did the Senate, full of Democrats, say no? They must be conspiracy theorists then, because there's no one in Guantanamo Bay being tried. There haven't been any trials in Guantanamo Bay. When the government was shut down in early 2019, we didn't see any of the government employees for the longest government shutdown in our history. Later that summer, House votes in favor of broadcasting Guantanamo Bay proceedings online. Well, we don't know who's in Guantanamo Bay. But the Senate, full of Democrats, like how Nancy Pelosi's a Democrat, Joe Biden's a Democrat, like how a lot of these kind of iffy celebrities are affiliated with the Democrats. And it's not just Democrats, obviously. You're going to hear about Mike Pence. You're going to hear about Mike Pence. Why? Because Mike Pence raped a little boy in Dallas. Yes. And he did a lot worse things than just that. You will hear about this. So what happens when a vice president does that to a little boy in Dallas? Can they tell the whole country? Military tribunals have been going on for the past 3 or 4 years. And Donald Trump, interestingly, is tied up in a classified documents case, a hush money trial with Stormy Daniels, and a presidential immunity case. That if he loses, quote unquote, would suggest that the public would now be accepting the fact that if Joe Biden did anything awful, like commit war crimes during his presidency, like consume adrenochrome during his presidency, like if he had a party at the White House where some little boys from Chicago were shipped in, he wouldn't be immune from that. He wouldn't be immune from that. So while his trial was going on, and while the trials of other Democrats were going on, you need a body double to play that person in real life. So that when they scratch their neck like, and they touch it for a little bit, and you can clearly see there's no indention, then they touch their neck, then there's a huge indention that's stuck because they're wearing a mask, because anyone with 2 eyes can see Joe Biden is a person wearing a mask in this video, until all of the trials that are being voted on are finished and they're released to the public. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, I will take profits on AMC as insane, exorbitant rallies occur. As insane and exorbitant rallies occur, I'll take profits on AMC, but I won't sell every share. In fact, I don't think I'll sell at most half of them until we see the declassified military tribunals presented to the public that show and tell everyone Joe Biden's trial for consuming adrenochrome and committing war crimes, as well as Hillary Clinton's trial, as well as Mike Pence's trial, as well as Nancy Pelosi's trial. And this is going to be done after a series of earthquakes that occurs this summer, so that a national emergency and martial law can be declared. Why? Well, because they are going to blame everything that's happened in airplanes, and they're going to blame all the earthquakes and all that on aliens from Planet X. Yes, they're going to blame all the earthquakes and all of the phenomenon with the airplanes, satellite disruptions. First, they're going to say it was solar flares, but they will then tell you it was caused by aliens from Planet X. So there's going to be a large, massive natural disaster that affects multiple states this summer. After that, a national emergency is going to be declared, and martial law is going to be declared. And we're all going to be told that Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi and Hillary Clinton are wearing masks clearly in these pictures, as you can see. You can clearly see Joe Biden is wearing a mask. You can clearly see again that Joe Biden is wearing a mask. He has normal skin, then he touches it, then a large indentation is left there for a long time because he is wearing a hypodermic skin mask. That's why his ear has this big square, because he is wearing a mask. That's why they had everyone wear masks, so that you wouldn't notice all these liberal celebrities and politicians, plus of course Mike Pence, were disappearing all of a sudden. So that's the fundamental event I'm looking for. Might take a little bit, but yeah, this is all going to be told to us. You're going to find all this out, fam. You're going to find out what Mike Pence and Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden, were doing to little kids, and you're going to find out that they actually got punished for it. Yeah, and so Tilray, I'm long, obviously, right, the politicians, Tilray is on the straddle screen right now for the two-strike straddle. We'll get into the unusual options volume for other stocks. Tilray, I'm long. I think this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves up in ABC correction, and this is another wave 1 and another wave 2. I think Tilray is going to hold 1.65. Enter wave 3 of wave 3. I'm slightly in the money and in the black on options on Tilray and Canopy Growth. The Tilray option is the 2 call expiring January of 2025. CGC, that had a reverse split. I'll get the numbers for you guys. I bought a leap when it was at 50 cents, and then they had a reverse split, so that made my initial strike 5. It lowered my delta. The option got adjusted. Anyway, Space, no stock split yet. I'll tell you guys, I bought leaps last week very quickly. Not my most thorough, but in line with, yes, they are going to blame this on aliens from Planet X. They're going to blame everything that's happened with navigation systems on aliens from Planet X. That is going to be called aliens from Planet Nibiru. And they are going to say that this is why a large earthquake occurs that triggers the Cascadia subduction zone and the San Andreas fault as part of the Ring of Fire. So yes, you are going to hear all of this. This is all going to be told to you. I know it sounds, I hope it sounds ridiculous right now. I hope no one believes any of this shit, but you will. You will. We will have our toilet paper moment. They are going to eventually at some point turn off the power. So have water, have food and supplies, and also what I've done, get some cash out, break down the $100 bills and the $20 bills and the 5s, 10s, and 1s, plenty of water. If you live in the middle of the country, man, might even think about, researching nuclear fallout equipment. That's a different video. Of course, when the new Madrid fault line goes, that goes right through the middle of the country where all of our oil and nuclear facilities are. I am looking for Virgin Galactic to begin a large move. I'm long Virgin Galactic, and I do believe Virgin Galactic with UFO are going to rally. And just like I gave you the final fundamental story for AMC, I'll tell you, I believe space and UFO are going to rally. I believe I know what their fundamental stories are, and that their fundamental stories are that aliens from planet Nibiru, yes, Planet X, have been in contact with the U.S. government. That's why all of these executive orders were passed. By the way, I mean, if you were still kind of skeptical on how all this could happen, Donald Trump was kind of a power-hungry, mad person. Look at all these executive orders. Giant executive order passed the day before Donald Trump was leaving office, the day before Joe Biden's inauguration, January 19th of 2021. Massive executive order talking about all types of stuff, reauthorizing and renewing an executive order from April 1st of 2015, specifically by the authority vested in me as president of the Constitution and the laws of the U.S. of America, including the IEP, the National Emergencies Act, and so forth. I, Donald Trump, President of the U.S., find that additional steps must be taken to deal with the national emergency related to malicious cyber-enabled activities declared in Executive Order 13694 on April 1st of 2015, blocking the property of certain persons. Yes, blocking the property of certain persons engaging in significant malicious cyber-enabled activities. Hunter Biden's laptop, all this stuff with Joe Biden hoarding classified documents. These were all very important details in the story that we've been given. And we're about to be told the final conclusion of the story, that this executive order, like other executive orders that were passed, look at this one, 1614, maintenance of files. We don't find out about any of this stuff until 6 months after these executive orders are no longer renewed, is when we're not supposed to find out. I believe that we are going to be finding out over the course of time that this is the truth. Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi and Hillary Clinton and other numerous liberal celebrities, and on the right side, I can tell you for sure, Mike Pence had military tribunals. The most common crime for each of them was consuming adrenochrome. For the politicians, they also committed war crimes as well. So those are the tapes that I'm expecting. I expect that we are also going to be told. Yes, I expect that we are also going to be told. We are also going to be told that part of the reason for this original executive order from April 1st of 2015 was because Barack Obama saw that there were aliens from planet Nibiru that were invading. And we've seen lots of reports about this in mainstream media. They're gearing us up for a fake alien invasion. They're going to blame the earthquakes, and they're going to blame what's happened with all of the airplanes and all those navigation systems with Boeing. They're going to blame that on aliens. The earthquakes are scheduled to take place from late May and early June. Then there's going to be a gap. July 11th is their big date. And then after that, from August 5th to August 14th, we are going to see major earthquakes across the world. They are also going to specifically affect the northwest coast and the northeast coast of the United States. You are going to see a major tsunami. After that, a national emergency is going to be declared, and that's when we are all finally going to be told all of this stuff, that Donald Trump is still president. He, like Seth Meyers and Bill Maher said, for a very long time, had his political opponents tried and abused essentially his military powers as commander-in-chief. He had Joe Biden, he had Nancy Pelosi, and he had Hillary Clinton, and Mike Pence even tried in military tribunals for consuming adrenochrome and committing war crimes. We are going to see those movies, those tribunal videos. They are going to be released. That is when I'm going to sell the last of my AMC shares, UFO and Virgin Galactic. They're going to tell us it was aliens from planet Nibiru. I've talked about Kodak a lot recently, but once again, just commonly talking about the fact that rituals have been, this was on an unusual option screen recently. but just commonly talking about the fact that these stocks like Dover, like Kodak, like B. Riley Financial, the elites have a very clear, easy to understand system of coding and letting their buddies know, when to buy these stocks. So I expect Kodak is going to be a meme name that enters wave 3 with GameStop, with AMC. We'll see if Kodak Black is involved in any more psychological operations. But yeah, that's what's going to happen. And it's better to find out from me than from these other people. You are going to find this out. That guy who set himself on fire outside of one of Trump's trials, right? Outside of one of Trump's trials, what does sign say? Joe Biden and Donald Trump are together. They're about to stage a fascist coup or something like that. And he mentioned the apocalypse. Yeah, I think that guy might have, been a friendly, esoteric dude. And it's very interesting that before that, he had long hair. He covered his eye in all of his pictures, and he had a mugshot. He covered his left eye. Elon Musk posted a picture of Escape from New York, right? Like how the Cascadia subduction zone and the Ring of Fire earthquakes are going to cause a large tsunami that is very dangerous to be in New York this summer, just like it's very dangerous to be in Seattle this summer. So this is the elite plan. We're going to see possibly Kodak rally with GameStop and with AMC. Blackberry. Let's look at Blackberry real quick. It was on an unusual options volume screen with very high bias to the bulls. It was also on the bar chart strangle screen. We see that Blackberry has a 95% unusual options volume, 733% unusual options volume, and a 95% call bias. So we look at the volatility in Greeks. It was mostly for this front month, and then they spread out plenty of leaps. So I do suspect we're going to see Blackberry. Oh, look at that. Already another 10% gain in after hours. Look at that. Must have been a lucky guess. But we see Blackberry forming a large 5 waves impulse on the all-time chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a large wave 1/wave A. An ABC correction ends wave 2/wave B. We're going to see wave 3/wave C begin above 2.46. Camping World also, I really like to take the screen, sort by the unusual options volume, and then I refresh it again, and I sort by the lowest put to call, and then I refresh it, lowest put to call ratio, then I refresh it to get the biggest bull bias. Look at that, Kronos, another pot stock. To get the most unusual options volume, make sure to sort by the highest monthly volume change. We see Kronos actually didn't have unusual options volume. Camping World did, however. Look at that, Cinemark for the AMC crowd. That's a very interesting thing to note. Maybe another video. Camping World, the unusual options volume was to the tune of 286%, 97% call bias. I think that on the large degree, very large degree, Camping World is breaking out of a large, this is an ABC correction, and I believe this is a wave 1 and a wave 2. What I've labeled, though, is just to focus on this short-term degree. This is what I had. I want to show you guys it naked, as I call it, or kind of the original chart, as I call it. This, I believe, is an ABC correction, a very clear 1, 2, wave 3, highest high on the RSI, shallow wave 4, and a wave 5 that ends with momentum divergence, an ABC correction between the 61.8 to 78.6% retracement. I'm looking for 5 waves up. ABC is 3 waves back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 1, wave A, ABC, wave 2, wave B. Now I'm looking for wave 3/wave C to begin. So don't be one of those useful idiots that says retail traders or regular old people are causing AMC or GameStop or any of these meme stocks to rally. Don't be an idiot. Don't play into their game. These moves are being caused by large financial institutions that have been taking long gamma positions in AMC theaters and GameStop. Very complicated strategies to buy their shares all the way down. Now they're about to force a gamma squeeze all the way up. And the only way to really, really, really help out the MMs and the hedgies is to say that you, yes, you, the retail trader, are playing games in the stock market. You are the reason that we're about to see all these huge problems with our fiat system. And I hope all the pups know it's absolutely, absolutely not you. And I hope all the pups know you're going to find this out. It's better to find out from me than from whoever this guy is.